You know, when you close your eyes and picture the electric vehicle of the future, you probably imagine like a spaceship on wheels.
Right, massive glowing touch screens, doors that open themselves, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Just way more software than a literal space station. But today we're doing a deep dive for the curious mind, looking at a stack of fresh 2026 trade data.
And some really fascinating new analysis out of India that, well, it completely shatters that whole spaceship assumption.
It really does. So our mission today is to figure out why India isn't just, expanding its own local EV market, but they are actually rewriting the blueprint for how the entire world builds cars.
Yeah, the contrast is stark. I
Hmm.
mean, the core technology in an EV, the motor and the battery, it operates basically the same way in India as it does in Europe.
Right.
But the Indian ecosystem forces this profoundly different approach to how the vehicle is actually designed.
Wait, different in terms of like the weather or the actual infrastructure itself?
Well, really both. So a typical European EV cooling system would just completely fry in India's extreme heat and humidity.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, these cars require heavy-duty thermal management just to survive a standard daily commute. Plus, the terrain demands really high reinforced suspensions.
Because of rough roads and constant potholes,
Sure.
right? Stuff that would just destroy a European luxury chassis.
Exactly. They're literally building for survival over a smooth ride. The analysis calls this frugal engineering, and it's led by automakers like Tata and Mahindra.
So what does frugal engineering actually look like on the assembly line?
Well, it means prioritizing mechanical solidity and modularity over luxury features. So instead of using integrated painted bumpers packed with fragile sensors.
Sensors that need a proprietary computer just to recalibrate them.
Right, exactly. Instead of that, they use simple interchangeable body panels. You can literally swap one out with 3 bolts in a basic local workshop.
That is brilliant. It completely bypasses the need for ultra advanced diagnostic tech.
Yeah, and it's the exact same logic behind their micromobility push. Think of those electric three-wheeler tuk-tuks.
Oh, right. Instead of building massive charging infrastructure and making drivers sit around and wait, they use those snackable, swappable batteries.
Precisely.
It reminds me of comparing a rugged mechanical field watch to like an expensive smartwatch.
Right.
One is built to take a beating in the mud, and the other basically panics if you wash your hands too vigorously.
That is a perfect analogy. And because European automakers are struggling to build their own field watches, EVs that are genuinely affordable and reliable, they're increasingly tapping into Indian design hubs.
To figure out how to crack the mass market in Europe.
Exactly.
So, since European makers are relying on this Indian frugal engineering to lower costs, the geopolitical trade landscape has to be shifting to accommodate that, right?
It is shifting fast. The 2026 data shows an early EU-India free trade agreement that slashes car tariffs massively.
From 110% down to just 10%, which is huge. But wait, historically, the global trade model is that Europe builds finished advanced cars and exports them to developing markets.
Right.
So with tariffs that low, why isn't Italy just trying to sell their finished EVs directly to India?
Well, mainly because a finished European EV still wouldn't survive the Indian ecosystem like we mentioned, nor would it hit the aggressive price point they need over there.
Ah, that makes sense.
So instead, we are seeing a shift to what the data calls complementarity. They aren't trading finished cars. Italy is essentially exporting the nervous system while India provides the muscle.
Break that down for me. What is the muscle here?
So India's EV sales have rapidly accelerated to match Italy's monthly volume, which is around 100,000 battery electric vehicles.
Okay, wow.
So India offers this massive scale, a huge workforce, and incredibly competitive production costs. That's the muscle.
Right, but to make those millions of EVs efficient and sustainable, they need Italy's advanced ecosystems, right? The nervous system.
Exactly. Specifically, things like precision engineering, battery recycling know-how, and battery management systems, or BMS.
So a BMS, that's what keeps those heavy-duty batteries from just degrading in the extreme heat we talked about earlier?
Precisely. The BMS is this software and sensor network that optimizes the battery's lifespan and safety under constant stress.
And Italy has a massive edge in this high-tech software layer.
So much so that the Italian agency Sanini is backing 1.6 billion euros in investments to fuel this exact transition.
Wow, 1.6 billion. So it's a real move away from simple exporting toward a true co-creation of value.
Yes, they are integrating their absolute best assets to build affordable cars and, crucially, reduce the global auto industry's reliance on China.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? Well, the very next affordable electric vehicle you buy might just have that rugged, frugal Indian mechanical DNA.
Paired perfectly with a highly efficient Italian digital brain.
Exactly. We want to thank you for bringing your curious mind to today's deep dive. We really appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
But before we go, we want to leave you with a thought to chew on. If frugal engineering is successfully disrupting the massive global auto industry by prioritizing simplicity over luxury, what other complex, overly expensive technologies in your daily life are quietly waiting for this exact kind of simplification?